Except for my Macho Man.
Yeah, just a Macho Man shirt.
Are we on?
We're on.
Awesome.
Welcome, one and all, to Big Chunky presents Beer and Beef Jerky, of which we have both.
Finally.
It took us 3 episodes to have both beer and beef jerky.
We had 0 of them. Then we had 1.
Yeah. It was a gradual build-up.
Now we have 2. It won't get any better than this.
It has to be, because I'm not so sure about this beef jerky.
We'll get better beer, and we'll get better beef jerky.
Yeah, gonna have to. Settling for some summer ale.
Well, here.
Yeah, I haven't had the beef jerky yet, actually.
I mean, it's gas station beef jerky.
Gas station beef jerky.
What gets better than that?
Oh, many, many things. It's tender.
It's not bad.
No.
It'll do.
No, not too bad. Pairs well with the summer ale.
Does it pair well with the summer ale?
Yeah, man. That's not bad. I'm all about that one. Anyway, we're not here to talk about beer and beef jerky.
Nope.
Did we ever explain why it's called beer and beef jerky?
Nope.
Should we?
Nope. Not yet.
Well,
that story comes another day.
fine.
When I'm in a better mood.
God. In that case, I guess we should go ahead and talk about some news before we get into our big chunky question.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, you go first, because my news is going to tie into the question itself.
okay. Yeah, so I haven't had any time in the world to talk about video games, but there's a big dilemma in Microsoft's next generation offerings.
Dilemma.
There's a dilemma. Because the next generation consoles are set to come out this holiday, which probably means like mid-November. And so far we haven't heard a whole lot about games. I think coronavirus is kind of making that a little bit slower than it normally would be. But we have one new game that was slated for holiday 2020 to be released alongside the Xbox. The new Xbox is called the Series X, and that game was Halo Infinite. Big game for Microsoft. They're reinventing Halo. I did a whole video about it. You can go watch it because they released a demo trailer thing, and it looked okay. But the big deal is that Microsoft's big game for this holiday and the big game for their next generation console launch got delayed. So that game is no longer slated for 2020. It's going to come out in 2021, and that leaves Xbox fans like myself. I like Xbox. I'm a PlayStation player, but I have an Xbox. But I don't think I was going to buy a Series X to start the generation anyway, because Sony already has more offerings that I kind of really want anyway. Because you can play Halo on computer and you can play Halo on the Xbox that I have now. So what's the point? But really, now what is the point?
Right.
Because the whole point of people adopting the Xbox early to be, the coolest kid on the block for a half a second that has the Xbox Series X and they can play Halo first in the best way. Because of course, it's not the same experience playing a brand new game on a system that can't even push 1080p, which is the Xbox that Joey has. Whereas the new Xbox is going to be 4K straight out of the gate, and rock solid 60 frames a second, which is optimal for video games. So there is an incentive for people that like Microsoft's consoles and Halo to buy this, but is there anymore? Because I have right here the rest of the launch titles, because so far we only know about 5 of them, and it's coming quick. November's showing up.
Yeah.
It's almost like they should delay these games, but we have 4 games now because Halo Infinite got delayed. So we have Tetris Effect.
What?
Which is like a super badass cool Tetris that's also for the PlayStation VR. It's awesome. If you like Tetris, it's cool. But It's a game that's already out. So it's called Tetris Effect Connected. So I don't know what the difference is between that and the VR version that's on PlayStation 4. But that's not a system seller. You don't buy a $600 system, which is
for Tetris.
No, you don't do that. There's another game called Gears Tactics, which you've heard of Gears of War, right? It was really big on the Xbox 360, kind of tapered off on the Xbox One, but they made like a strategy game called Gears Tactics. And that's already out. It's coming to the new one.
Okay.
So that's another game that's already out. But we have two new games that are actual next generation games. One of them is called Scorn, and it's a weird, disgusting looking, like horror-ish shooter game. So
nice.
As soon as we see a little bit more gameplay, it might be something that you want to jump on because it does look cool. And then we have another game, which is a psychological horror game called The Medium. So we have 2 horror games and 2 old games coming to the Xbox Series X. And that's all we got.
I think we expected an influx of horror games. And
well,
it's coming.
I don't expect an influx of horror games, but I do see the potential of horror games being better than they ever have been.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, sure. But so we know 4 games right now, whereas I have a whole big-ass list of what launched on the Xbox One back in 2013. We have Assassin's Creed, Battlefield, Call of Duty, Crimson Dragon, Dead Rising, FIFA. A bunch of big games. Killer Instinct, Madden, and
a bunch
NBA.
Of classics. A bunch of world game changers.
Sure. I mean, Assassin's Creed 4 is really good. Battlefield 4 is good. Call of Duty Ghosts was mediocre at best. But, and of course you have all the sports games that just come with everything and the worst version of Zoo Tycoon. But either way, it's infinitely more titles than we have on the Xbox Series X coming forward, because their main selling point right now is that they're not really trying to market the X. Like, don't get me wrong, they're marketing the Xbox Series X because of course they want to sell it, but they have this subscription service that they're really trying to sell. So it's available on the current Xbox One, PC, and it's going to be available on Xbox Series X because all of Microsoft games, they just put them out on the streaming service, so you don't even have to buy the fucking game if you subscribe to it for $10 a month or whatever. And it's a steal of a deal.
Huh.
It's an awesome deal because you get so many games.
You just get all the games.
You get a lot of games.
Yeah.
You get, the games that you want to buy Microsoft systems for. So, but yeah, even that doesn't compare to what we know. The 6 games that may or may not be coming around the PlayStation 5's launch that would be exclusives to that. So I don't know what Microsoft's deal is. Like, they had a long time to develop Halo because Halo 5 came out in like 2014, 2015, something like that. So it's been in development for 5 or 6 years. So it's not like they didn't have ample time to get everything done. Now, I know that the coronavirus kind of throws a curveball into all that situation, but
typically,
yes. But either way,
it's a curveball throwing motherfucker.
It is. But I'm glad they decided to delay Halo rather than just push it out broken, because that would have pissed people off. But
fucking Corona.
But the dilemma is, what's the selling point for the Xbox Series X right now? Because the rumors are right now is that they're going to be fucking expensive. They're going to be as expensive as consoles have ever been, and that's a big deal. Because dropping over $500 on a console that has nothing to offer, I don't even know. Why?
Yeah, it's not going to go well.
No, it's not. I don't think so.
At all.
No, I think they should delay the Xbox. Now, I think the PlayStation's a little bit more ready, but even then, like, the only game that's a real selling point is Spider-Man, Miles Morales. So, I really don't know. It's almost like they should delay the consoles and just get games ready for them. But
yeah, but at some point, you have to stop delaying things because of coronavirus or otherwise.
No, yeah, trust me, I get it, but
you know how much of their budget is built on November?
Yeah. I mean, that's why they're pushing it. Yeah, but
I mean, it's probably some smart person at Sony is probably saying, if we just get X% of what we typically get because we have nothing to offer and the incentive is low, it's still going to be way more if we launch something in April or June.
I don't know, because the Switch launched in March.
I don't know either.
The Switch launched in March, and it's been a runaway success.
Yeah, and it's longevity. It didn't sell everything in the first month.
Yeah, it did.
No, it didn't sell everything in the first month.
What do you mean it didn't sell everything in the first month? They ran out of them.
I get that, but it's been selling consistently ever since, right?
Yeah.
Like it's more of a, it's been selling since day one, and it's still selling to this day.
Yeah.
Well, not so much to this day.
No. Okay. It's been in very high demand.
So it's still selling
because
to
of the
this
coronavirus.
Day. Right. Now, how much did that cost?
$300. Yeah, Nintendo knows exactly what they're doing.
So half the cost.
Yeah. Yeah, supposedly. But that's really all I have to talk about in game news.
That's what I'm saying. It's Christmas time.
Yeah.
So if you're going to convince somebody to buy something for no reason, because there are no games, that's the time to do it.
I guess.
Yeah, right.
I know, man. Frick the coronavirus.
You're like, buy it now. The games will come, we promise.
Yeah, I guess.
They have to do something like that. You can't just miss a Christmas season if you're Sony.
No, I agree.
It can't be done.
You know.
It's not optimal, it's not fun, but it can be done.
Yeah. God, I was hoping making the chat bigger would help with the seeing of it, but it didn't at all. Wow.
The coronavirus.
Yeah.
It's a curveball throwing motherfucker.
So you have no news.
Other than really,
what the big chunky question is.
Yeah, I don't really have any news other than one little piece, and that is, so our big chunky question today is.
Yeah. Okay.
Going to be surrounding the DC.
Let's explain a little bit about what we intend to do with the big chunky questions, because we've been bringing forward smaller news stories.
Yeah.
But of course we want to have some kind of main focus of each episode. Like last episode, it was Miles Morales.
Yeah.
And his changing. And we've always, like, we talk a whole lot about how comics are being affected by the Marvel Cinematic Universe and vice versa, and how video games are affecting the Marvel, and it's always Marvel. So the Disney, and don't mean Disney, I mean DC. The DC Extended Universe is what it's called. Extended Universe has been a shit show, to say the least.
Yeah, if you can even call it a thing yet.
At this point, it's, I guess their plan is to restart it, isn't it?
It's I don't know, and that's kind of like, I had an idea of where I was going to go with this, and I've been talking on previous videos from a comic book speculation standpoint that I think now is the time to buy DC, because I really thought, I've said it many times, I really thought they were finally getting their shit together.
Man,
a movie like Shazam was pretty good, and Aquaman was pretty good, and Wonder Woman, and I was like, it just feels like Jeff Johns coming on and writing a lot of this stuff, and he's written most of the stuff in the past. He's a DC guy from way back. It just felt like it was The Rock coming on as Black Adam. Just kind of felt like the pieces were starting to get put in place, and maybe they finally had learned from their mistakes, and maybe that's still the case. Their allowance of Zack Snyder to do the Snyder Cut, just that alone,
yes,
tells me that, okay, it's not so much about every nickel and dime that we can put in our pockets. It's actually, we're doing something for the fans now. Finally.
Is it more doing something for the fans, or
trying to sell subscriptions?
Yeah.
It's
like,
both.
Of course they're trying to sell HBO Max, and
this is
I got it,
one of those circumstances where everybody wins.
Yeah, the fans wanted the Snyder Cut anyway, for some reason.
But to admit that they were wrong, and to admit
movies.
that they fucked up, and you're like, you know what, mea culpa, we screwed up, here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
We're going to make it all right again. So just things like that, I was like, okay, it just seems like things are getting in place. Then the last few weeks happened, and DC is in disarray.
Is in disarray.
Just in complete and utter disarray. So the latest piece of the puzzle that I've seen, my little news story I wanted to bring up, was that Ray Fisher, the actor that portrayed Cyborg in the Justice League movie.
Was Cyborg actually in the Justice League movie? I haven't seen Justice League.
Yeah, he was in there.
Okay.
Has now come out, and I don't know any details, so I'm not going to put words in anyone's mouth, but it sounds like it might get to the point where it's a criminal thing. Like, this might be the new, here going forward, this might be the new thing that people were talking about from a Hollywood perspective. He's come out and essentially said that both the writer of Justice League, Jeff Johns, or maybe he was the producer on it, doesn't matter, maybe both.
Actually.
And of course, we all know the Zack Snyder was originally on there, then Joss Whedon came in. But he has claimed, Ray Fisher has, that he was abused in some way.
Abused?
By either or both Jeff Johns and Joss Whedon. To the point where he has made, he tweeted recently that he was called into the office because some of the things that he did not agree with, some of the abuse that he was taking, he was going to go up the proper chain of command, and he was pulled into the office by Jeff Johns and or Joss Whedon, maybe on 2 separate occasions, and basically said, "Oh no, you're not. You'll never work in this town again." He kind of got that speech where you're this and you're that, and we are powerful and you are not, and you're not going to say a damn thing or you'll never work again. So that kind of thing has happened.
What happened though?
So that nobody knows. Well, I mean, somebody might know. I don't know.
This is all alleged, right?
Yeah. I mean, everything's alleged until it's not.
I mean, I guess.
So again, I don't know what the abuse was. I don't know anything about it at all, and I'm not gonna speculate on it. It's just the matter of so much of my positive attitude going into the DC extended universe was because Jeff Johns was going to have a big part in it, because he's such a good writer. And he's from the comic books. You know, he came from that. And a lot of the better, if not best, stories of some major DC characters were Jeff Johns, like his Flash run and his Green Lantern. He's written so much good stuff.
Yeah.
And that has filtered into television and movies and everything. In today's day and age, it doesn't even take truth to ruin somebody.
Absolutely, it doesn't.
No. If this comes out to be true, and I've heard like some YouTubers and other people saying there's sources and this, and there's other sources corroborating this story and that or whatever. If it comes out to be true, then he's just gone. You know, like it's a no-brainer. He's gone. If it comes out to be false, he might still be gone, because that's the way the world works, and who knows how long that would take to even get to that point. And then Joss Whedon is, again, he's the director of the movie.
Yeah,
the secondary director who just botched the movie to begin with.
Apparently.
So that's a whole lot of controversy that is directly touching one of those people that you kind of hoped would become the Kevin Feige of the DC cinematic universe. Mm-hmm. He'd be that executive producer kind of guy who knows comics because he was there, and he's going to do it right. Maybe with a little help. But if he gets sucked out of it because he was an idiot, then I have all those questions that I had about the DC universe are now multiplied. They were dissipating. I really thought there was a light at the end of the tunnel. Now I'm not so sure. And
no, I had no idea about this.
Because of the Jeff Johns thing. And
messed up.
Also, the word disarray is because that company is just a complete disaster right now. They just laid off like 800 to 1,000 people. In Warner, whatever it's called. The parent company of the parent company, AT&T, swooped in a few years ago and kind of took over the company, and then they've been firing people. They've been restructuring for a couple of years. That happens, but they just recently fired like almost everybody that had anything to do with the DC Universe app. Half the editors in this area, half of it's just like a bunch of creatives, a bunch of people, 1,000 of them. That's a lot of people.
That's a bunch of people.
So, from top to bottom, they're just a mess right now. Just a total mess, So just from the outside looking in, it doesn't look too positive.
Apparently.
And I was feeling really good
Damn it.
about it. And the Snyder cut was that was kind of going to be the point of our conversation, was like the Snyder Cut. What does it mean? Like, what does it really mean? You know, doesn't mean anything at all. And we can still talk about that because this stuff might blow over. It might end up faring out pretty well for the conglomerate that we will call DC.
Yeah.
It might end up well. So the Snyder Cut could still mean something. Obviously, this isn't a death sentence because we don't even know what this is yet. But I got major concerns. Major concerns about where they go from here. Humongous major concerns.
Well,
I still like all the stuff they have on the table. But Jeff Johns was a big part of that. And the Snyder Cut to me, was going to be one of the first pieces of the puzzle to get at least fans back into the thinking DC. Whether or not it was the launching point of what the DC cinematic universe was going to become, and everything was going to flower, bloom from that.
Well,
whether or not that was the case.
It's not like it was the beginning, but it was the big come together. It was the Avengers. It was his idea of the Avengers, the DC version.
Right, what I'm saying is everything sucked. Nothing's cohesive.
Yeah, part of me doesn't understand why people want the Snyder Cut. Because nobody liked the rest of Zack Snyder's movies.
Well,
in the DC universe, so why do people care in the first place? But I guess I understand a little bit.
Zack Snyder's got his following. People like his movies.
I like several of his movies. 300 was good.
What's that?
300 was good.
Well, 300 was a marvel. Yeah, and listen, I liked The Watchmen.
Yeah, Watchmen
as a movie.
Sure.
Not comparing it to the book.
You have both. Don't compare them.
It's an enjoyable movie.
Sure.
I'm not going to go into the ending.
No.
It's better than the comic. But anyway.
Hot take.
Zack Snyder, he's got his fans. I don't know. So the reason people were excited about the Snyder Cut, probably because they were looking forward to a good Justice League movie and they didn't get one, and now they're still kind of hoping that one exists out there, and maybe this is it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Not even.
Good times. So,
Jesus.
Good times. I'm going to just bolt this to the ground. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you have to say about the Snyder Cut? I know you did some research on it. And
I did a little bit of Wikipedia research, and I just really wanted to know what it was compared to the actual theatrical release, because I didn't watch these movies, because why would I? Because they all have gotten bad reviews and the fans are against everything.
Yes.
So, I mean, in the ones that I did watch, I watched Batman vs. Superman, and that was a fucking dumpster fire. So I didn't watch Justice League.
That might be the worst one.
Yeah, from what I hear.
Although the Justice League might be the worst one.
That's also what I hear. Yeah.
I don't know which one's worse.
Yeah, no one likes anything. People are just like, which one's worse?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
except for the movies that came afterwards. Like, people like Shazam, and people like Wonder Woman, and people liked Aquaman.
Yeah, listen, it was a fun movie.
I didn't see any of them because I've been soured.
It was fine.
Sure. Listen, I got HBO Max and now I'm going to watch the movies.
Right.
Whether they're bad or not, I'm going to watch them all.
Right. I think my main concern or issue with the Justice League and how it came out was I heard what it was trying to be and what it was supposed to be, and essentially none of the things I was promised years ago ended up happening. I expected to see the Green Lanterns, and I expected to see a different version of Superman, and I expected to see all this stuff in the coming
a different version of Superman.
Yeah, the coming of Darkseid, that whole thing is really setting it up, and it kind of touched on it, but it didn't do enough.
Right.
I think from what I heard, the Snyder Cut does all of those things.
That's what I hear.
Which I guess is why they're making it a 6-part series.
6 parts. How much movie did they film? Jesus.
It's like 4 hours.
Damn.
Snyder,
that's a lot of movies.
Snyder had 4 hours of stuff he wanted to put in, and that's why he tried to tell him, we need to make a couple movies here. And you're like, no. No. So, but again, all the current disarray aside, talking specifically to the Snyder Cut, that was always my question, was if they just kind of remake the Justice League, but they don't fix anything else, and it doesn't serve as some kind of actual launching point. Maybe it's not the first movie in the official DCEU. I get that.
It's not.
And okay, and that's fine, but it can still be the launching point, because the ones that came before it were just kind of like, all right. Other than like Wonder Woman, but
yeah, but I think that I agree with it being a launching point, just to take it in a different direction, because they had movies that came afterwards that people, I guess, liked.
Yes, I'm saying the formula for a proper comic book related, cinematic universe, is the cohesiveness. And just, there were a bunch of Marvel movies that happened before the MCU, and nobody cares about them anymore. So that is my point. Like, there were a couple Hulk movies, like them or not like them. There was a whole X-Men franchise that predated
People give
the MCU.
a shit about the X-Men movies.
Nobody cares about them
Stop that.
anymore.
That's not true.
Nobody cares, other than Wolverine.
What?
Nobody gives a shit what happened in X-Men United.
What?
They care about Wolverine. They care about Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
Okay.
Okay, so like nobody cares about it.
X-Men First Class came out. New cast.
It's a good flick.
Everybody liked it.
It's a good flick.
Days of Future Past.
Had mixed reviews.
Mixed reviews?
Yes.
It had mixed reviews?
Absolutely.
That movie was fantastic.
I thought it was great.
What happened?
Other people didn't think it was good at all.
What?
Yeah, anyway, not a story for today.
God damn.
Look at it. Yeah, it's not so clear cut, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, and then of course the last two have just been the worst.
Yes.
So
That's
other than like Deadpool, which is outside the MCU, and
is it?
Absolutely, it was Fox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So no, I get that, but I'm saying, if you do the Snyder Cut and you're making this big deal about it, and you're gonna spend tens of millions of dollars to do it, and everybody's so excited, I think it loses its luster if it is not absolutely like, here's where it all really begins. This is where the DC extended / cinematic universe really starts, right here. We're doing it right the first time, and here's Green Lantern's going to be there, and Superman and Batman's doing his thing, and all this stuff. Or else it just turns into like a remake of a movie that sucked.
It's not a remake.
It fades away.
I don't know that it's... I mean, it sounds like they changed a whole lot of the movie. Yeah, most of the movie. Yeah. So, I mean, he had
a different movie.
Yeah, I mean, Zack Snyder had a direction that he was going in. No. Did he? I guess he didn't have anything to do with the rest of the movies that came after Justice League. No. So those who did those? Who did all those? Was it Joss Whedon?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's. I think Aquaman. Did Aquaman come after? I don't even know what came after. I care so little about the DC universe to this point. I don't even know chronologically what came first, and then this, and then
Aquaman came after Justice League.
Yeah.
So.
Which makes sense.
I guess.
After seeing Aquaman.
I don't know. I guess.
But like Wonder Woman was essentially an origin.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Wonder Woman is like a Captain Marvel type thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't care about Zack Snyder's future. Like, he doesn't have to direct every damn movie for it to be good, obviously.
No, but he had a direction that he was going in, and that was that became askew.
Yeah, and that's where you go wrong. They didn't have a Kevin Feige to say, here's the direction we're all going in. Zach, you get this movie, and let's talk about what you want to do with this movie, but it has to fit in to the larger piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
They didn't have that guy.
Yeah.
So whatever Zack Snyder was doing, is it going to be where whoever's deciding where the DC Cinematic Universe is going, is it going to be in that direction? Is it going to be, are they going to look at that and be like, yes, we're going to take all this stuff and we're going to go from there? Because this is our grand vision now.
Well, I don't know. What do they have in the works right now? Did they have the second Wonder Woman movie?
Yeah, Wonder Woman 1984 is supposed to be coming out here soon.
What else do they have?
We know that the Black Adam movie.
Okay.
We know there's going to be a second Shazam movie. I don't know what stages of what and what.
Yeah.
You know, the Batman thing with Robert Pattinson.
Is that part of...
Who knows? I don't want to talk about it. I can't talk about if Batman exists here and there, and Pattinson, and Affleck. I don't know. It's too fucking confusing, and that's why part of the reason why people can't get into it.
Yeah.
Which is a fucking shame, because Batman's awesome.
Yeah.
And so many of these DC characters are awesome. But most of the stuff that feels like it's imminent with DC is all the DC Max, HBO Max shows.
Yeah.
The Justice League Dark, people are looking forward to. The Green Lantern Corps show, people are looking forward to. A couple other things.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the dilemma. That's why we have this conversation. I can't even get excited. You know, and I was really going to try to force myself to get excited.
For the Snyder Cut?
For the Snyder Cut and everything beyond. All this stuff. The Justice League Dark stuff, I'm really looking forward to. Because those are my boys. That's John Constantine, that's Swamp Thing, that's Deadman, that's all the Demon, that's the cool shit.
Okay, cool.
That's the cool stuff. That can survive outside of everything else. You know, that is, and as you know, like one of my favorite shows in the world right now,
Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol. It is fantastic. Fantastic. Titans is really good. I'm a few episodes into it.
What's that?
That's the adult version of the Teen Titans, basically. It's after the
Oh shit!
yeah,
I need to watch that.
It's
Teen Titans
really,
was my stuff back in the day. I love
like
Teen
3 or
Titans.
4 episodes in, and it is really, really good.
Cool.
Really good. And I think that was written by Jeff Johns, of course, or at least partially written or produced by.
Yeah.
So that was my problem. Jeff Johns, man. You know what? I'm just depressed by the whole thing.
So it turns out he sucks.
I'm depressed by the whole thing.
Allegedly.
We can't just lean on Marvel
No, man.
for our nerdtainment.
No. It's not just Marvel, it's Disney.
Yeah, we can't just lead, but there's been so many rumors and whispers because of all the shenanigans going on the DC end that one of these days Marvel's just going to acquire DC.
I can't believe it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
I wish they would.
Yeah, they'd turn things around quick like they would.
I mean, I guess you really can't compete against yourself.
No, they wouldn't be competing. Like, they're not really competing with anybody right now, but they're still putting out good shit.
It'd be fantastic to be able to get 5 to 6 movies a year instead of 2 to 3, because they could do all of them.
Yes.
You can get like 2 to 3 DC movies, 2 to 3 Marvel movies, and a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, and that's...
I would be constantly spending my money at the movies.
Yeah.
And Disney would get all the money.
Yeah, that's what they were going for.
That might be the only thing
I'm
that
amazed
saves
I haven't bought
them.
Sony yet.
Huh?
I'm amazed I haven't bought Sony. Or just bought the rights back to Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I don't know. I really wanted, and I put some money into it. I've bought some DC stuff. I mean, I bought Shazam #1, for God's sakes. A couple of them.
Yeah.
You know, I really thought they were going to get their stuff together, and they still might. I just, man, if Jeff Johns is going down, you know, deservedly or not, don't know any details. That's a big hit. That's a big old hit.
Yeah, it's a big one.
That's like, what's his face? Happy Hogan. That's Happy from, what's his name? Jon Favreau. It's kind of like a Jon Favreau-like guy just being sucked out.
Yeah.
He does so much of he wrote so much of all the good stuff.
Yeah.
It's Iron Man on.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
Jon Favreau is as important or as responsible for the MCU as anyone.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I thought Jeff Johns was going to be that dude.
He might.
Well,
no one knows what happened yet.
Maybe.
This is news to me. This whole situation is news to me.
Yeah, it's just like one more thing, you know. It's just like you feel like something's bad, and then all of a sudden it just gets worse and worse and worse.
Well, the good thing is you haven't invested a whole lot.
I don't even
into it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not like Star Wars is ending.
It's not that big a deal.
No.
I mean, we're just talking about movies and stuff. But they can't get anything right. Comics, nothing. Like they need to fold up and sell it all.
A whole lot of shit sucks.
They need to sell it all off. Let Marvel take over.
Yeah, they do all the things right.
The perfect role reversal from the 60s.
Yeah.
When DC used to publish Marvel comics. Oh
man.
It was just, oh, how the tides
Oh,
have,
God.
have turned in 60 years.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. I don't know how much more I have to say on it. I'm still looking forward to the Snyder Cut because I do like the characters. I like Henry Cavill's Superman. I liked his movie.
Cavill?
Henry Cavill. That's what I say, and I say it every time. I like him as Superman.
Yeah.
I know he gets dogged.
Why?
Ben Affleck was perfectly fine as
I
Bruce
don't
Wayne.
remember.
He was perfectly fine. The movie sucked. Gal Gadot, good lord, or Gadot. Actually, her name is Gadot.
Is it?
Yeah. She's gorgeous. I'll watch anything with her in it, except for Fast and the Furious. I refuse to watch that. So she's really good as Wonder Woman. Oh boy, Khal Drogo,
Oh yeah, he's Aquaman,
a
isn't he?
fantastic Aquaman. Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
So it's like the guy that the kid they had playing Flash. I love that kid. I don't know his name, but he's like good in everything I've seen him in. I think he's the kid that played Patrick in The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Who is it? Ezra Miller,
Something, yeah.
Ray Fisher.
Yeah, Ray Fisher. That's Cyborg.
He's Cyborg. Okay. Yeah, Ezra Miller. I guess he's Flash.
Yeah. So I like all the characters. Obviously, I liked all the actors playing them. I really think they can still go places with them. It's just,
Yeah, they have a really good cast
it was.
for such a shitty movie.
Well, I guess you try to tell us 4-hour story in 2 hours.
That sounds like they didn't try to tell the 4-hour story.
No.
They took bits and pieces of a 4-hour story and put a
I don't
worse
even think
story
they
around
took
it.
bits and pieces. I think they took bits or pieces, and then crafted just a shitty story. Whatever. Like the first ever ensemble, Justice League of America, been around since the 40s. They just squeezed a whole bunch of shit in like 3 hours of shit into
3
a
hours?
2-hour bag.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's rough.
so yeah, bad news coming for DC potentially. Doesn't feel like a Harvey Weinstein kind of thing, but it still
Let's hope
feels,
it's not a Harvey Weinstein kind of thing.
We already know that Hollywood is still, to this day, I mean, going back to the 40s and 50s, it's just full of a bunch of like, I've got the power and you don't, so
Yeah, that's the whole thing about Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's all bad.
you would think in today's wide open world that would be getting better, and I guess I'm sure it is. I'm sure it probably is better, but it's still bad. I said Harvey Weinstein. I'm not going to compare anyone to him. I'm not going to do that. Not what I'm doing. But anybody that calls you into their office and says, I'm up here and you're down here, so what the guy up here says goes, shut your fucking mouth. Like any organization, industry, company, project that has that going on
Yeah.
is bad news.
Yeah, it's always sketchy.
It's bad news. I mean, we'll never see this on the screen. We'll never see this fantastic story, The Black Mirror. They just need to have a Batman cinematic universe,
I mean,
and it would be
if
perfectly
they would stop
fine.
rebooting it every time they do a Batman thing.
You could put out one Batman movie every 2 years, and then like a Batman show in between.
Yeah.
And you'll never run out of stories. It'll all be great. There's so many things you could do. So many versions of Batman. So many eras.
Yeah.
All the villains.
Yeah. I mean, that's the part that sucks is that most of the cool shit about DC is Batman.
Maybe that's what they should do. Just start a Batman cinematic universe, and then like, and this episode has Superman in it. And this episode has Wonder Woman.
Oh man. Yeah, that's not.
I'm for it.
Yeah, sure, but that's not what they're gonna do.
Anyway, that's all I got. Just despair. Just have despair.
It's a rough world out there, boys
Feeling bad.
and Sam.
Can we lighten it up for 5 minutes and then call it a day?
Yeah. Yeah, let's move on to this week's show and tell.
Yeah, I'm just going to show a couple things off. Speaking of Batman.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Batman. Here we go. My show and tell for the week. is this quick sketch of the Joker. And you can tell by the famous autograph there that is Walt Simonson, who has maybe the best autograph of all time. Walt Simonson.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, again, a quick little Batman sketch. Now, one may wonder, if you're getting a Walt Simonson sketch, who's mostly widely known for his Thor, and then there's like he did some X-Men, some New Mutants, and some other stuff, why the hell do you have him draw Batman and Joker?
Hey, Dad. You know that Walt Simonson guy that's widely known for other things that's not Batman?
Mm-hmm.
Why the hell did you get him to draw Batman characters?
Well, here's the answer. I don't know.
What?
I don't know. So, show and tell time, right?
Yeah,
when did this happen? 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? We were at Baltimore. This was
Baltimore.
our first Baltimore convention, which was a phenomenal experience. The experience that we had in Baltimore in 2018 was exponentially better than any experience that Ray Fisher had on set of Justice League.
Probably.
Or afterwards. Fantastic experience. One of the things that made it so fantastic was that we got to meet some of these legendary creators for the first time. Walt Simonson
awesome.
being one of them, him and his wife.
Yeah.
Oh, easy. Both super nice.
Yeah, Simonsons are great.
So we walked up, and he's got the line around the corner, and he's just doing sketches. And you know, it's like I expected to get a few books autographed, but I was like, oh my gosh, he's doing sketches. So like I hurried up and grabbed some of the boards out, and I didn't have time to think. And like, what do you want to get? And I didn't want to hand him 2 boards, so I had like you and Joe in line with me. I was like, all right, you ask him for this, and you ask him for this, and I'm just going to ask him for autographs. So that's how it happened.
Yeah.
You had 0 books, like sketch me this real quick for, I don't know, 20 seconds.
Sure.
I mean, it's like a 20-second sketch. It's awesome though. So I was just like, Batman, Joker. Actually, I think I said Joker. I was like, oh well, since I got Joker, I'll take a Batman too.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Walt Simonson's great, but this was like $0.
Well, it was whatever you wanted to pay for it.
No, I mean like he was doing it for free.
He wasn't doing the charity thing?
He was. I mean, he was accepting donations to the Hero Initiative or whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were doing just like everything for free, but donate whatever you want to do for the...
Yeah, usually not for sketches, though.
Well,
so, yeah. He was kind of, he was in the minority.
Yeah, it's mostly
there.
autographs, I guess.
But wanted to show those off because these are my only 2 sketches I got because last year he was so busy. And behind, we didn't even get in his line.
Yeah.
So we didn't get any sketches or anything from him. Well, we got some autographs. Because Walt Simon is so awesome that he actually did the reverse where he let everybody line up and then he just walked down the line. Remember that?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the line was so long
the line was so long. He was just like, I'm not going to sit at the table. And he literally walked all the way down the line.
Yeah, that was
personally
crazy.
Like grabbed your books from your hand and was like, oh, cool. How you doing? Whatever.
Yeah, because that was the line that was like going.
Yeah, just snaked.
Wow. Okay,
it
I forgot about
so,
that.
Yeah, he just like, unless you want something, like if you wanted a CGC witnessed something, or something else, he's like, you can stay in line. But if you're just
no, dude, they had a CGC guy in the line too.
Well, yeah, but he was like, stay in line if you want that stuff,
or
if you're asking for a sketch or whatever else.
Yeah.
But if you're just getting books autographed, I'm not going to make you wait.
Right.
Because Walt Simonson is all about the people. Walt Simonson should run DC.
Should he?
Be all about the people. Yeah,
and
I
not
think
about
so.
the corporation.
His wife wrote some really good Superman.
I don't know anything.
She wrote some really good Superman. They could just let him run it together.
Sure.
You know who didn't get laid off at DC? Jim Lee. He's still the chief creative officer of DC.
Is that bad?
No, I mean I like Jim Lee, but he needs to get his shit together. Something's got to happen.
Yeah, no, they're in a downward slope. It's not good.
So anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. We're going to end on a high note, which is Walt Simonson, free comic book art. I'll never, ever, ever get rid of it.
You better not.
I have like multiple Jokers by multiple artists now.
You really do. You need to do a whole show and tell where you just show off all your Joker drawings.
Yeah, like from now on, I'm just going to, whenever I get a sketch commissioned, I'm going to be like, draw the Joker. And he's like, I don't even draw the Joker. I'm like, you do.
You do when I pay you to.
And I'll just have all the different Jokers. I will. That's a good idea.
Yeah, not bad.
There's plenty of Jokers. There's actually 3 Jokers now. In real life.
Yeah, but like, that's not what that's not what that is.
No. This is one of the Jokers, though.
Yeah, that is.
This is one of the ones they talk about.
Yeah.
The little criminal Joker. The little Tommy gun wielding criminal Joker with his fedora on. I do too.
I kind of love it.
Walt Simonson's awesome. Louise Simonson, awesome.
Yeah.
We got to have a good conversation with Louise last year because Walt's line was so far, but Louise had a few, so we just kind of chit-chatted with her.
Yeah.
She's so nice. There's some good people out there.
Yeah. Stan Sakai.
In the comic world.
Stan Sakai. Don't go see him.
Stan Sakai,
Stay 6 feet apart, though. He is old and fragile.
He is, as
are the Simonsons.
Yeah, both the Simonsons. Stan Sakai is a new member of the Eisner Hall of Fame.
Yes, he is, as of this year.
Should be.
I can't believe it took this long.
This really should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a high thing to end on. I guess we'll do that. Probably should end.
Beer. Beef jerky.
Woo!
DC, boo.
Got the third one in the bag.
Walt Simonson.
Walt Simonson, good.
Yay.
Halo being delayed, bad.
Oh.
Yeah, why even buy an Xbox?
It was bad news day.
I know.
Nothing good has happened today. Anyway.
2020 sucks.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
There's always tomorrow.
Yeah.
Until there's not. Could happen. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen in 2020.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. We're not going to make it to the Snyder Cut.
We're going to find out on the 31st at midnight when it clicks over that Y2K was really a thing. It just was delayed.
It was now.
It got delayed to like 21 years or
right.
whatever.
Yeah,
years.
no. Yeah, the Mayan apocalypse wasn't 2020
like,
or 2012, it was
shit.
2020.
Yeah, I guess some things transposed. We're going to
Yeah.
find out that all of those things were true. The date was just wrong.
That happens all the time.
Nostradamus. Anyway.
All right. Yep. I
Call
guess
it.
we're going to call it
Click the button.
a day for this one. What? Are you going to tell everybody to stay chunky?
Yeah, especially in these times when there's so much uncertainty around. It is very important now more than ever for everyone to stay chunky, my friends.
Subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you didn't. Catch us pretty much every Sunday. Most Sundays
trying.
on Twitch for this whole thing live. But if you can't catch it live,
Catch it.
go to the YouTube. It's cool.
Yeah.
Subscribe there too. We'll see you on the next
You're
one.
most likely right there right now.
Probably. Maybe. We'll see you again.
See you.